A point on the board as new signings settle. Welcome back to Where the Addicks Talk with myself, Luke, and today we've got Platty. He's back from travelling the world. We've got Dave, Steve, and Timsy talking all things Charlton. Dave, a point against the fellow Londoners. Was you happy with that?
Yeah. To get a point before the start of the game, definitely would have taken that and a clean sheet. On the whole, you'd say like 90 minutes of the game, we were all over them and really should have. It's just that little bit of clinical composure in the box, and we could have had a goal. But in all fairness, their goalkeeper was outstanding, and again another goalkeeper gets man of the match against us. So I think it sort of demonstrates pretty much similar to the Leicester game at the start of the season. We're all over them, but to be fair, I think there was one player who stood out for me was Lyndon Dykes. He just caused frustrations for them in their defence. And then he was just heroic enough to be clearing off the line at the end when QPR had that spell of pressure where if it wasn't for Kaminsky as well making an amazing save, then they could have come away with a smash and grab, but we stopped that. So on the whole, really, really happy about the result.
Perfect. Steve, so many chances created. You have to be happy with that. I know, unfortunately, none of them were converted, but it's very promising to see so many chances being created.
Yeah, it was good. It was just that final third that we're just lacking that bit of sharpness and a bit of clinical finishing, as Dave was saying. But we were, I think, in a draw was probably a fair result. I think QPR had their chances as well that they could have taken it. And Kaminsky for me he's been criticised at times this season, but he's showing at other times, like the QPR game, that he's a top quality keeper at this level. He's got 10 clean sheets in 30 league championship games, which is the best in the division. So he's doing something right. And in a team that's been struggling at the back, that's impressive in my view. So it's just, if we'd just been able to take one goal was going to win that game at some point, and we just weren't able to quite snatch it. But it was good. Dykes was busy. He was being a pain. Probably a horrible player to play against that no one likes, and it's just unfortunate we just couldn't find a way to get past their goalkeeper, who was having if not the game of his game of his season, it was sure as hell close to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about Lyndon Dykes there, Timsy. There's been so many signings over the January transfer window. There's been some ins, there's been some outs. It's been a crazy period. But all the new signings seem to have settled. You look at Connor Cody, Harry Clark, Chambers. He nearly sneaked one in with his free kick. There looks like a real good balance now in the squad, and it looks like the new signings have settled in well. Is there anyone in particular that you've been really impressed with?
I would say, me personally, it has to be the two wing backs, so Chambers and Clark. Clark seemed to have slotted in there seamlessly. Like, it looked like he's had a pre-season with us, how easy he sort of slotted in. Been very impressed by his physicality as well. Gets up and down the side, and I'm a massive fan of an early cross, which he delivers a killer one of. And Chambers seems to have something about him. And there was times where he would defend close to the halfway line as well. He'd just stand off waiting for him to make the room, and he would often either get the tackle or force a man to run it out of the play. He's really good at doing that, and like with what we saw in the QPR, was able to high press again, which we haven't seen for a while. So it was good to see the team, like, as soon as that ball was coming out, it was like everyone's at it on the press, and we could actually have high wing backs again, because we had Bell behind him as well. So the two wing backs are like being the biggest success in the window, and getting that balance across the team, as you said before. That balance we've been missing massively. And I think the subs sort of showed that a bit on QPR when we made the subs and we lost the balance. Part of it may have been the energy in midfield. It would have been lovely to have got another midfielder in the window, but at least we got the balance again.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with the wing backs in terms of the higher pressing. There's something that Charlton haven't been able to do of late. To have them both back, it really helps because it really pushes the team forward and really squeezes the pitch. So yeah, spot on with that. Platty, first of all, welcome back, mate. Is there obviously any new signings that you've really taken a look at and think, no, I'm really happy we've got them in the likes of Lyndon Dykes, Chambers, etc.
When you first look at those four players that you've mentioned there, the wing backs, Cody and Dykes, you look at them and actually they hardly played any games this season collectively. And each of them, I don't think Dykes, but certainly Cody had a bit of an injury at one point. Clark just hadn't been able to get in the side. Chambers had an injury. They were real big rolls of the dice. And from afar, when I was seeing them being signed, I was a bit sceptical, particularly Cody, who a mate of mine was a Leicester season ticket holder. He said didn't do it there. And the Wrexham fans didn't warm to him after a terrible start of the season. But they've all been outstanding. You can't really fault them. First game I've seen for a couple of months live. I've been listening while I've been away. Not the same as being there. And I thought Dykes was immense. The wing backs, as Timsy said, yeah, great. Really good. And Connor Cody really assured there. What I loved, and I don't think he picked it up last week, but in the Leicester game, when the guy was going to get sent off, he did a great bit of, excuse the word, shithousery, and he walked between the ref and the players, just shaking his arms, and he was going, get him off, like this. And it was total distraction for the referee from what the Leicester players were trying to say. And that kind of thing. And a couple of times yesterday, he was into the referee, and I think we need that. And Dykes similarly. I mean, the way Dykes yesterday won 2 or 3 free kicks, where in the past we would have probably just flopped down or not gone down, but he was looking for the foul and he got it. And I think those two guys particularly bring the experience, and the two wing backs bring the width. It gives it a good balance, as everyone said. Yeah,
definitely. Another big signing that hasn't made it onto the pitch yet is Colin Shashenki. He's brought a huge following, a huge fan base to the club from Kenya, which we'll get onto how big that can be for
Jambo Kenyans. Jambo.
Do you expect him to come into the starting lineup, Dave? And are you looking forward to seeing him play?
I'm not sure where he's going to fit into the starting team, if I'm honest. I think maybe if we're 3-0 up against someone, he might come on, for the last 10, 15 minutes. He's obviously one for the future, I think. Although he's, there was a lot of talk of him coming right at the start of the January transfer window, and he's obviously he's unknown at English football level. So we're going to find out. He's got a bit of pace that we've seen. It's only really, from anyone's point of view over here, it's really clips we've seen on YouTube and little highlight videos. So we don't know how he performs over a whole 90 minutes. I'd say he's one for the future. He's obviously, like I say, he's got a bit of pace. He's got good control from what we've seen. I can't really see him being on the starting 11 unless there's some injury or problems there. But we lack a bit of pace at the back. So
maybe
for the future, time will tell.
Yeah.
Luke, I think Amari Bell coming back, he just looks so solid. I mean, he was just class yesterday, on Friday, absolute class. Jones is, he's one of the top players in the Championship now by any rating that you look at. So for him to come in, the only place he's likely to come in possibly is instead of Ramsey, who I still feel is getting a mistake in him every game at the moment, it looks like to me. He put a couple of stray passes. So it's going to be a gamble to play the guy because he's not up to speed yet. But clearly I think there's going to be a time when he's going to have to blood him. And I think we'll probably start to see him come on for the last 10 minutes. But he's got to be quite sensible, because I believe he's had 2 red cards in his last season out in Serbia. So it'll be quite interesting. But he's obviously got a bit of a pedigree.
Yeah, definitely. He's like as Dave mentioned, he's a player for the future. Steve, it's hard, isn't it, when players from abroad come to English football and the Championship, especially? It's such a difficult league. Do you as fans take that into consideration when you sort of judge a player? Do you think, right, no, we need to sort of understand it's going to take a little bit of time for him to settle, etc.?
I think we do, particularly when they come from somewhere that we're not familiar with. If they've come from a top division in Spain, Italy, Germany, you probably expect them to hit the ground running. Maybe that's unreasonable, but when they've come from a division that, let's be honest, most people don't know anything about the Serbian league. It might be a reasonable quality, but it's probably not up there with the competitiveness of week in, week out Championship football. He's a young guy from Africa. I'm sure he's got something. There must be something that people have seen in him that is worth a go. But I agree with all the comments. He's probably not going to slot in. I think Jones likes Ramsey. I can't see him dropping him anytime soon. I think the most likely way that he's going to get a game is Bell's unfortunately had a few injuries over the season, so I can see if something happens with him, then we might have to be forced to throw him in a bit quicker than we might like. But I'd like to see him get 10 minutes against Stoke, maybe, if the scoreline reflects a time when we can risk putting a centre back on. And yeah, we've just got to be calm with him. I think there's a risk that he's going to turn up and he's going to be Naby Sarr from the first season that he joined us, which, let's be honest, was an absolute disaster. If he turns a bit, I mean, I'm not the biggest Naby Sarr fan, even when towards the end, because the guy was always had a mistake in him. So if he can be a bit better than that overall, but we just need to be calm and just expect him to make a few mistakes early on. But so long as it's not costing us points, then we can learn to live with it and let him learn the English game. Yeah,
well said. It's crazy how sometimes when you bring a player to a club and it shows the strong fan base they bring from other continents. It's for any club, for any club at all, for Charlton that we're talking about now. Obviously, he comes from Kenya. He's brought out so many Kenyan fans along with him that obviously see something in him, have really backed him. It's brilliant. It brings eyes to Charlton from another continent, doesn't it, Timsy? I think that's quite a nice thing for Charlton.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had it similar before when we had Reza Gujajad. I want to try and not butcher that name too much. Came and joined us.
Anajad, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. He joined and he came with a massive following as well. Ended up going to, was it the World Cup at the time as well? I think he scored a goal as well at it. I think it was their only goal. He scored a very memorable goal for us versus Leeds, but apart from that, didn't really do anything else for us. But he came from the Belgian league at the time. And yeah, he struggled with the Championship and the physicality of it. So yeah, we are seeing very similar with the fan base there. Like they seem to back their man, and rightfully so. Like they believe in their country's players and stuff, and they're a very passionate bunch. But it's lovely to have that sort of interaction and stuff, and seeing new fans, new faces. There was a lot of comments on Twitter of placing in Kenya, their pubs over there showing the game. So it's the first time they may have even seen Championship football. There's a lot of comments commenting on how the pace and the quality of the game was much more than they expected as well. So yeah, it's good for the Championship as a whole with new fan bases, just getting aware of the league and seeing new teams and stuff. And it's not the Chelseas and the Liverpools and the Arsenals and the Man U's all the time. So I think just, yeah, we had a little bit as well in the past. I remember in China with can't remember his name now.
Zheng.
That's it. Yeah, and yeah, we've done it before. And we've sort of brought a bit of a fan base, and I think if you still go to China's Day, you may see some of our shirts over there. So yeah, it's all positives, and I think it's only good for the club as a whole and good for the league as well.
Definitely.
Where I sit, you often get probably every second or third home game a load of Danes who still come over to the Valley, who were supporting Charlton in the days of Klaus Jensen, and they continue to come over. They've sort of got it in their blood, and where I sit, there's normally a group of about a dozen of them. Lads come over and they support Charlton. They've got all the kit on, and yeah, it's good. It can only be good, can't it? It can only be good.
Yeah,
I did my bit. I shared a couple of Charlton shirts in New Zealand, so they're going to be.
We've also got a big Jamaican contingency, even in our first team, to the point of influence that it's our third kit resembles the Jamaican flag. So there's good influence.
Yeah,
I'm guessing someone really wants some good holiday sponsorship opportunities at the club. We're spreading out around the world to get some really lovely locations.
Yeah. But we spoke about him. He's obviously a player for the future. What I want to talk about is we're coming up to Valentine's Day now, so I want to talk about if there's any players that you've really fallen in love with that you hold dear to your heart. Platty, we'll bring it to you first, mate. Is there any players of the past, the present that you really still hold close to you?
Oh, well, past, it's for me, Derek Hales always. When we lost him, I was gutted. When he came back, it was great. He's always a kind of player who was always exciting, was always going to score, and you wanted to see him on the team sheet. And definitely was one that I just love to see. We've had a number of players over the years that I've enjoyed watching. I guess if you looked at the current squad, probably Lloyd Jones. It's interesting. I think Lloyd this year has been probably his best season. Last year, he was talked about a lot as being brilliant. This year, because a lot of other things have gone on, his name doesn't always crop up. But Lloyd is absolutely solid. And for me, in the current team, he's the most important player in that team. He holds it all together at the back. And whatever's going on, you look at his stats, and he's always up there in terms of headers won and distribution. Probably doesn't score as many goals as he would like, being a centre-back. But, yeah, he's solid. So, yeah, past Derek Hales back in the good old 70s, early 80s, and currently it would definitely be Lloyd Jones. I think he's been one of our most consistent players over the last 3 or 4 years.
Very, very important player. Dave, what about you, mate? Is there anyone that you, from the past or present, that you've fallen in love with?
Yeah, well, they always say you should never fall in love with a lone player because it'll break your heart. So the player that sort of sprung to my mind under that would be Josh Cullen. He was immense for us in the season that we got promoted last time into the Championship. Obviously, notably sending in that cross for us to score the winner against Sunderland again at Wembley. So yeah, he would definitely be a player that we fell in love with at the time, and unfortunately had to let go. Now applying his trade in the Premiership for Burnley, although he's going to be out for the season with a bad injury. But yeah, he'd be my one.
You are so right. The lone players, they're always the ones that you always in the summer following. Please sign him back. Please sign him back. But yeah, 100%. I'm with you with that one. Right. Well, game's thick and fast, as we always say in the Championship. Stoke at home, Steve. That's the next game. It's going to be a tough game. They're having a good season themselves. What do you expect from the game? What's your score predictions, please, mate?
Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one. They're having a storming season. I didn't see this coming with Stoke. I have a bit of history with that. I used to live in Stoke for about 7 or 8 years back, quite a few years ago now. But so they're a decent side, much better than I was expecting to see from them this season. And they're going to be tough. They're going to be physical. They're going to be up for coming down and getting the points. I don't see them sitting back trying to just walk away with a draw. So I think they're going to come at us. I think our problem will be if we concede the first goal, because we do struggle to put the ball in the net. We are averaging under a goal a game in the league at the minute, which is a bit of a problem. So if they score first, then I can see us maybe even losing 1 or 2-0. I'm going to say it's a bit negative. I think it's going to be a 2-1 Stoke, unfortunately. I think they're going to carry on towards their promotion goals, and I think we'll just struggle to hold them.
Okay. How did you deal with living in Stoke on a wet Tuesday night, Steve?
Yeah, it was wet Tuesday, Wednesday, you name it. It was it's everything that everything a Londoner can dream of. I was told once from friend up there that I wasn't bad for a Southerner, so I'll take that as a compliment.
Jimsy, what about you, mate? What are you expecting from the game? Would you be happy with the point?
I'm gonna disagree. I think Stoke are in a little of a downhill spiral at the moment. They've got a bit of an injury list. 1 win in 6 at the moment, and they struggled against the West Brom team, who are on a bit of a down at the moment as well. Could have went either way that game by the looks of everything. So I think the way we're only on the up at the moment. Stoke's on a bit of a down. I think we're going to meet them at a good time. And I'm gonna be positive, which is a straight another clean sheet, 1-0 win. I'm gonna hopefully we get an early goal, and then hopefully it's they don't come on to us and we just hold it nicely, just keep breaking chances. But that's what I'm gonna hope for. It'd be brilliant if it was more, but that's what. Yeah. I think we're meeting them at a very good point at the moment.
Nice 1-0. Shashenki off the bench with a header, maybe. We'll see. Dave, right, we are now on to the A to Z, mate. The letter O, please take it away.
Well, yeah, letter O. There aren't this. We struggle here with the letter O. I'm sure, like most football clubs. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, it's difficult to pick a good actually out of all the O's that have been at Charlton. I'd say we've got a potential good at the moment, which is in Isaac Alafe, but it's whether he's going to get his opportunity in the future. We shall see. But going back through, moving on to the sort of bad, maybe I'm being a bit critical, but so we had a defender called Oshalaja. He was okay. He was just a no-nonsense defender, really. So I can't really give him a good classification or a bad, to be fair.
I think you're being too nice there, Dave.
Well, perhaps I see the good in people too much. But then we look at a bad player we had for us, which came with quite a bit of noise, was Jonathan Obika. And he started off really well. He scored an injury time winner against Leeds, and then another injury time winner against Wolves the game after. And suddenly fans were becoming a bit euphoric about him, even nicknaming him Obika time. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen. And he came back for another loan and failed to score in his 13 appearances. So, but the ugly, which was an interesting one, was another pronunciation tongue twister, was Erhans Oztuma. He was an English guy with sort of Turkish family, and he actually started at Charlton in the youth setup. He joined as a 16-year-old, went through the whole youth academy, and he ended up starting off in the Turkish league. And then he had a really good season at Walsall, like very prolific for a midfielder. He came to us. He basically scored 1 goal in 16 games. The problem with him, he was vertically challenged, and actually he actually holds the record for the smallest player in the English Football League at 5'3". Well, there goes tells the story. He was just hustled and bustled. If you blew on him, he fell over, and he didn't really cut it in midfield for us. So he was the ugly from the O. But like I say, we're struggling a bit with the O's. So thank God that one's over.
You dealt with it well, Dave. You dealt with it well. Well done, mate. Well done. Right, we're finishing with Tweet of the Week, as we always do. It's actually a little bit of a previous opponent's QPR. So it's a tweet about them. There seems to be a little bit of niggle between the Charlton fans and the QPR fans. And this is a Charlton fan commenting on QPR fans, saying, don't think we've gone a single week without QPR fans mentioning how bad Kelman is. Is there a little bit of a rivalry between Charlton and QPR? Is there a little bit of nastiness there, a little bit of a niggle?
I don't think it's one we've started. I think this has completely come from QPR getting on their high horse about when Kelman joined us from them. They obviously a bit sour grapes that he never did the job for them, didn't score a goal in however many appearances it was. But they clearly just I don't know. They've got a bit upset with it. It's quite
Yeah.
it's quite funny how every time, the 2 times we've played them since, that they've got a bit shirty on him. So it's it's all enjoyable, fun, and a bit of banter that's going on social media and that. But it's a bit weird. I'm not sure what their obsession is with him. It's like, move on. We all have players that come and go. You've got your own rubbish strikers to look after.
I think they're probably a bit upset, realising that they can't turn us over like Millwall did, and now realise that they're not actually promotion material. So they're probably just a bit frustrated.
I don't think they've ever forgiven us because of Macaulay Bonnie, to be honest. I mean, £2 million, pants down. At least we've got something with Kelman, haven't we? Let's face it.
Yeah.
And, I've had a few banters this week about Kelman v Kone. Kone's still in Lloyd Jones's pocket, probably having Sunday lunch with him right now.
It's been in his pocket for like the last 2 seasons.
Absolutely. So it is a bizarre, because I've asked a couple of QPR fans, what's your problem with Kelman? You never started him, so you never gave him a chance. And I don't know, they just seem not to, he didn't get a good reception last night. I just wished he and Dykes would have scored, because they would have loved that. They would absolutely loved it. But, small, insignificant West London club who play in a shed.
Shoebox.
Yeah, shoebox. Thank you.
Yeah, feel free to leave your comments, QPR fans.
Yeah. Comment. I'm out of this one. I'm out of this one. But yeah, brilliant. Right, thank you guys for a great conversation as always. It's really good chat. Thank you everybody for watching at home. Please like and subscribe, and please get involved in the comments below, talking all things Charlton.